Live pictures there from Westminster Hall, where the lying in state of the Queen is ongoing. That would last till about 6:30 a.m. tomorrow, Monday, 19th of September, when her funeral would take place. About 2,000 guests in all would be attending that event. And we understand that later today, there will be a minute silence in her honor. That will be held at about 8 p.m. We understand that people are filing past the coffin of the Queen and paying their respects to the monarch who died on the 8th of September at the age of 96. She had ruled for 70 whole years. Just yesterday, her grandchildren, 8 of them, filed into Westminster Hall to hold vigil by her coffin. That lasted about 15 minutes. The day before, her children did the same, paying the respects to the monarch who is much loved and who passed away on the 8th of September at the age of 96 years. And as it is, world leaders are actually arriving in London to grace the occasion. That is the funeral of the Queen. We had President Joe Biden and his wife, who got there earlier. 500 heads of state and foreign dignitaries have been invited. President Joe Biden touched down overnight as the UK prepares for a gathering of leaders not seen in decades. The armed forces have come together with emergency services to mark the solemn occasion in history. This involves over 10,000 people, and that includes soldiers, sailors, and aviators. 6,000 of them will take part in the procession in London and in Windsor. We understand King Charles III will hold an audience with Prime Minister Liz Truss at Buckingham Palace. The King and Camilla, the Queen Consort, will also host heads of state and official overseas guests for an official state event. During the day, the Prime Minister will meet with a number of foreign leaders, and that would include the Canadian Prime Minister, Justin Trudeau, and the Polish President, Andrzej Duda. But Nigeria is not left behind in the celebration of Queen Elizabeth II's life. Vice President Yemi Osinbajo has arrived in London to represent Nigeria at the funeral of Queen Elizabeth II. The monarch, who died on the 8th of September at the age of 96, is scheduled to be buried tomorrow. Professor Osinbajo, who departed Nigeria on Saturday to join other heads of state and foreign dignitaries invited for the burial, is expected to hold a bilateral meeting with James Cleverly, who's UK Foreign Secretary. The National Hajj Commission of Nigeria has started preparation for the 2023 Holy Journey to Mecca and Medina. Chairman of the commission says necessary measures would be taken to ensure the next year's pilgrimage to Saudi Arabia is better than that of this year. Senior correspondent Adedoja Salamadini has more.
No fewer than 1,551 intending pilgrims in Nigeria missed out of the 2022 Hajj due to cancellation of flights scheduled to airlift pilgrims to Saudi Arabia. The annual Muslim pilgrimage is one of the major international events gravely affected by the COVID-19 pandemic in 2020, 2021, and 2022. 2022 was the first Hajj after the COVID-19 restriction ban. It is a year that quota were limited for all countries visiting the Holy Land. Late preparation on the part of some states and private tour operators also hindered the movement of pilgrims for Hajj.
We're already in preparation for next year's Hajj. So we look at all the odds and then we say, yes, we are grateful. It's time to say, coming back to the background that for 2 years we didn't do Hajj, and then you were able to do over 40,000. That's a whole lot of difference between what happened now and in the last 2 years. So all we can say is we are grateful to Allah, and we ask Him to be able to support us to do better next year.
Despite challenges faced by NACON, Nigeria still used 96.4% of the slots allocated to it by the Saudi Arabia authorities for the 2022 Hajj. Out of 1 million pilgrims who were expected to perform this year's Hajj globally, about 899,353 Muslims from all over the world made the holy journey. Out of this number, 43,000 came from Nigeria based on the allocation given to the country by Saudi Arabia authorities against the yearly 95,000 slots. In the just concluded Hajj, 6 Nigerian pilgrims lost their lives in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. The Chief Operations National Hajj Commission of Nigeria medical team says it would have been worse if the age limit wasn't reduced to 65 years by the Ministry of Hajj and Umrah.
We try to prevent the deaths. However, that's why we try to institute pre-Hajj medical screening, because the Hajj exercise is a very rigorous exercise. PCR confirmed COVID cases, yes, from Nigerian pilgrims, but they were all treated. We isolated them, they received antivirals from the Saudi authorities, and they got better.
Wallahi, the welfare package is excellent, ranging from the hotel accommodation, the Sierra.
Hajj, the fifth and last pillar of Islam, is mandatory for adult Muslim males and females who are financially, psychologically, and physically fit. Adedoja Salam Adeniyi, TVC News, Lagos.
We're talking politics now. Support groups for the presidential candidates of the All Progressives Congress were on the streets of Abuja for a solidarity walk to openly express their commitment to elect Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu as president. The groups urged Nigerians not to be deceived by the antics and rhetoric of other presidential candidates who they say just want power but lack a clear-cut plan of action to improve the well-being of Nigerians. They also challenged other political parties to run their campaigns based on issues and not play up religious and ethnic sentiment as a tool to divide the electorate and mislead them into choosing the wrong candidate. They marched from the Unity Fountain in Abuja to the Presidential Campaign Council Secretariat of the APC, where they were assured of Asiwaju Tinubu's strong commitment to developing people-friendly policies and executing programs that would genuinely benefit Nigerians.
Coming together today for solidarity walk just to support our candidate, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and our prayer is for him to emerge, and we wish to sensitize people, grassroots, everywhere. We just want to use this medium to canvass and to mobilize more people for Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu and the Vice President, the incoming Vice President.
They're here to come to show their support to our principal, His Excellency Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and we are here to also partner with all support groups to make sure that the success comes 2023.
We are all proud of our candidate. We have one of the best CVs in the world for a presidential candidate. Yes, and that's why we are stating it. But we are not ignorant of the fact that APC has made great strides in Nigeria. What Asiwaju Bola Tinubu has come to do is to build on those great strides, to take what he did in Lagos and to amplify it so that tomorrow we have a better Nigeria.
So talking politics, the growing acceptance of the presidential ticket of Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu and Senator Kashim Shettima across the country seems to have made it easy to galvanize support for them in the south-south region of the country. Stakeholders of the governing All Progressives Congress in Delta State have now inaugurated the Tinubu Support Organization, which they believe will be the platform to propel APC to victory in next year's presidential election. Iken Amechi reports.
Do hereby declare This inauguration of the Tinubu Support Organization here in Delta State is in preparation of the campaign that will officially start later this month. Stakeholders of the All Progressives Congress in Delta State say Bola Ahmed Tinubu is already a household name and has a verifiable track record that will convince the electorate to cast their vote for the APC in the next year's general election.
Son of Asiwaju is a crowd puller. A lot of people want to be identified by him. People want to stand by him to show their solidarity to him because of what he has shown in Lagos, and is trying to repeat it at the federal level when we win come 2023 February.
Now they are ready to go out to the streets and all nooks and crannies with the message of hope as portrayed in the Tinubu-Shettima presidential ticket. They also advise voters to resist attempts by other presidential candidates to tell lies and spread hate against Tinubu, who is the only candidate that has the political will and competence to lead Nigeria and turn around the fortunes of the country.
Expectation from this group is for them to go down to the grassroots, to the hinterlands across the states, and take the message of the Bola Ahmed Asiwaju's candidacy to them, what Asiwaju represents, the reason why Deltans should queue behind him and ensure that he emerges victorious come February 2023.
And if you look at all the candidates, the presidential candidates we have today, he's the most qualified, he's the most experienced, he has the capability, he has the support of the whole nation, literally. Everybody wants to be associated with him because of his pedigree, because of what he's done. As Bola Ahmed Tinubu of Lagos State for 8 years.
The Tinubu ticket is selling itself everywhere. You don't have to. I don't know the reason why you will not vote for Tinubu. The man has performed in the past and is ready to perform. He's ready to do more.
The Tinubu Support Organization is also seeking support for all APC candidates on the ballot in the states. Ikenna Amechi, CVC News, Asaba.
Now, the Archbishop of the Metropolitan See of Lagos, Alfred Adewale Martins, has advised Nigerian politicians not to take advantage of the economic situation in the country to induce voters. He stated this during the 2022 New Legal Year Church Service by the National Association of Catholic Lawyers, Lagos Archdiocese. We have details in this report.
It's a full auditorium. The Mass is to usher in the beginning of a new legal year. The day also coincides with the 39th year of priesthood of the Archbishop. Addressing the church, the preacher lamented the inability of the government to bring perpetrators of crimes to justice.
Or either being charged to court or anything being done about them. We must pray for those who rule us, that they will do the right things, that we may exercise and practice our faith and religion in peace and tranquility.
As the lawyer worshipped in thanksgiving, the onus falls on them to uphold the tenets of the Catholic faith in their daily practice.
Nigeria is in distress. We need lawyers who will also lighten up the country. We need lawyers who are going to be engaged into how to cleanse up the country. The other day we heard that some people went and instead an action to stop the beavers. How will you want to stop something that is good? The votes must count. The lawyers are ready. Nigerians are tired.
As the judiciary is concerned, they are also doing their own bit within the ambit of the law in order to ensure that 2023 does not amount to anything that will cause crisis within the country. With the electoral law in place, definitely the judiciary is up to task.
The Archbishop also spoke on his expectations from Nigerians during the 2023 general election.
People should resist the urge to sell their votes
And the politicians should also not put people to the test. They should not, as it were, make their poverty into weapons by which they create problems for people in choosing to actually vote or to sell the votes.
The president of the association, Lagos Archdiocese, says his only regret is the inability to get the association inaugurated in the cathedral. Ivy Kano, TVC News, Lagos.
Thanks for staying with us. Let's turn our attention to security situation in Zamfara, where police have arrested a notorious bandit and an informant in its effort to fight criminal elements in the northwestern state. Also arrested were a fake military officer and other suspected criminals who supplied arms, ammunition, foodstuff, motorcycles, and military uniforms to bandits in the forest. Spokesperson of the command, Muhammad Shehu, disclosed this while parading the suspects at the police headquarters in Gusau. He said the suspects were arrested by the police tactical operatives during intelligence-led operations conducted in some criminal hideouts in Gusau and Safi local government areas, respectively. Now to the ongoing strike by Academic Staff Union of Universities, which is now in its 7th month. Now, the leadership of the National Association of Nigerian Students has threatened to ground activities at international airports across the country. The student body yesterday in Akure, the Ondo State capital, faulted the attitude of the federal government towards the striking lecturers and education in the country. They also threatened to occupy the airport until the strike is called off. Well, to make sense of all this, let's speak with the Vice President of NAN's External Affairs, Akinte Babatunde Afiz, who joins me now via Zoom from Akure. Let's get more from you about this proposed plan of action.
Many people must be wondering why we are in tandem with ASU. But as far as this strike is concerned, beyond the fact of solidarity, the federal government has shown that they have failed woefully to invest in education. And this is one of the reasons why ASU are on strike. And if the government has not failed to invest in the education sector and also prioritize the welfare of we the Nigerian students, according to the section 14, subsection 2 of the Nigerian Constitution, ASU won't be on strike. So we've started the protest. We started the first phase of the protest last week. And instead of the government to come outside to address the main issue of why we're on strike, we are not asking for too much. We are asking them to come back and call and resume and let the students resume back to school. That is just what we want. They should also fund education properly in this country because they are killing education. The federal government is not investing in education properly. Education is dying. So if we continue to fold our hands to look and to watch, then definitely the future of this country is not secure. So therefore, as they have grounded education, they've grounded education for the past 7 months, 7 good months. So we also have decided that we'll continue to ground the economic activities of this country until they resume, until also resume back and call off the strike.
Oh, Mr. Akinte,
no, it's not making any sense.
If I may quickly come in there, as you referred in your response, you talked about the roadblocks that you organized on the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway. How effective was that?
It is effective, even if to those that followed our protest and our roadblock in Lagos-Ibadan Expressway, we did one at Shagam, we did one at Tollgate Ibadan, we went to Bogon, and we went to even the citizens parked their vehicles and they are joining us. They were addressing the press with us. They are even happy that we are coming out. Some are asking us why are we just coming out for the past 7 months. And we are tired. So it is effective, it is not effective. The Minister of Power will not go and address us and be telling us it is legal to hold protest. If it is illegal to block the road to hold protest, is it legal to shut the school? How many countries are shutting their students out of the school for the past 7 months, 7 good months? September 14 was when it completed 7 months. The schools have been shut down. So this is a crazy scenario. It is crazy. It is not reasonable to anybody. And so they should not expect us to be coming and to be shaking hands with them at this stage in time.
I think
their political activities is going to... Hello?
Okay, I think I understand your frustration, Mr. Akinteye. But then, just last week, the federal government met with pro-chancellors, and the president himself actually met with them, and then he promised to hold more consultations and then get back to them. What is the level of belief and trust and confidence that you have in the words of Mr. President in this regard?
To be sincere, we don't have belief or trust in any of their words again. They had the past 7 months to hold their meeting and to bring these people back to class, to school. But what did we see? They are going to court. Who knows how long the court case will take? And by the 28th of September, they will start their political activities, which means they will not even have time for the students when that starts. So we are not ready to wait again. We are not ready for any of their promises. Why is the president just meeting a committee of vice chancellor this week or last week? Why? For the past 7 months.
Mr. Akinteye, very quickly before I let you go, have you sought security for the proposed protest tomorrow?
The police, we know the police in their characteristic manner might come out to talk about the non-existing police order, which the court already declared null and void. It was challenged by Femi Falana when they said you have to ride the police to get security clearance for a protest. We've had protests, 4 good protests in strategic places, and we were coordinated, no attacks. The security that came on ground, we were playing. We have pictures of policemen even taking our pictures and videos to see how cooperative we are with them. So tomorrow, when our actions will start across all the airports, international airports specifically in this country, we expect them to, if they are around, they should just maintain orderliness, because we are coming out to agitate in a very orderly manner. All we just want is that they should open our institution. And until they do that, we will continue to agitate and to protest and to ask for our rights in the right way, legitimately, as Nigerian students. So that is just it, sir.
All right. It's a great way to end the conversation. Babatunde Afeez Akinteye, Vice President of NAN's External Affairs, thank you for sharing more insights into this matter with us on TVC News.
Thank you very much.